What a scene that St. Luke paints at the beginning of this gospel when he says, so many people were crowding together that they were trampling one another underfoot, all trying to get close to Jesus. Sounds like they might have benefited from a little social distancing. But I can imagine that at once when Jesus began to speak to his disciples, that the people stopped trampling one another. They stopped in their places and they leaned in, trying to hear him. And if they could, they would have heard his warning. First, of the trap of hypocrisy. His disciples, because they were known to be his followers, of course would be observed. And so Jesus wants to impress upon them the need to live what they were teaching. Jesus continues by saying, what was said privately, behind closed doors, will be known. And that which was whispered will be shouted from the housetops, or in our time, shared on Twitter or any other social media. Imagine that. Next, Jesus addresses what every person has to deal with in our lives, and that is fear. Specifically, he is teaching them to have a healthy fear of the Lord, and conversely, to not be paralyzed by a fear of man. You see, Jesus wants us to consider what every person knows, how our actions and words will be received. In other words, to wonder, will we pay the price for speaking and living the gospel message? And this is where Jesus wants us to think both about the short term and the long term when it comes to paying that price, either for proclaiming the gospel or running from it. St. Margaret Mary Alacoque wrote, should you find yourself overwhelmed by fear, cast yourself into the abyss of the unshaken confidence of the Sacred Heart, and there your fear will give place to love. If you find yourself weak and lapsing into faults at every moment, go to the Sacred Heart and draw from its strength, which will invigorate and revive you. My brothers and sisters, I'd ask you to join in me in sharing this message of hope with your family and your friends today. Remind them of how we are all called, men and women, boys and girls, to be people of integrity, people who are striving with God's grace to live what we profess. And when we face opposition, and of course we will, when we feel weak, remember St. Alacoque's encouragement to draw strength and courage by going to the Sacred Heart of Jesus, where the love of God can replace all our fears. And that's where we can find the courage to be true to him. May God bless you and your families on this holy day.